Aadya Chaudhary.
I'm Harshita Chintapudi.
And I'm Ayushi Patel. And today we'll be interviewing Miss Fried, the principal of Cypress Bay High School in South Florida.
Can you tell us a little bit of what you thought wanted you do as the principal of Cypress Bay?
Sure. Well, one of the things that I get to do is interact with amazing students like yourselves. As you know, we have over 4,600 students here, so part of my responsibility is ensuring that you guys are all receiving the appropriate curriculum that you're supposed to in all the different departments. So I work with a team of administrators who oversee all of the content areas, and obviously education is at the core of what we're doing, right? And so planning for that, making sure that our students are properly scheduled in their classes, making sure that our teachers receive professional development, ensuring that we have a safe and secure campus, that you guys have, everything at your disposal to be successful and to really explore all of your options, right? So part of that also encompasses us exploring different pathways for curriculum. Now we're in the process of planning for the following school year. So there's a lot that goes into my job, but I do have a wonderful team that assists me in making sure that all of these things are taken care of.
Okay, so now we would just like to ask you, what was your major in college and what inspired you to take this path in education?
So my major was marketing and communications, and originally I really wanted to be on the 6 o'clock news. I thought that's what I would be great at. So I did some internships at some, television stations, and quickly realized that it was not just an application to the 6 o'clock news. It took some different pathways to get there. So I ended up getting a job in public relations at a company called Club Med, which is very similar to Sandals. It's a European-based company, vacations, that type of thing. And I loved that job. That was great. It was very interactive. It involved traveling, writing press releases. But I started a family and then realized that travel and, going to different places probably wasn't going to be conducive to the lifestyle that I was looking for my family. So I really fell into education by accident because I wanted to pursue a career and decided to try teaching, and ended up getting a job at a brand new school called Cypress Bay High School, where I applied to be a French teacher and fell absolutely in love with education from that point.
Very nice. So we wanted to ask you, how do you think we can encourage young girls to follow a path in education and leadership as a whole?
So I think that we have to provide our youth with opportunities to explore, right? Because you have to do what you're passionate about. And I think that having programs that are very, have real life connections are really important in schools. Like, for example, how we have leadership opportunities in programs like SGA and DECA. And there's just so many different avenues that our students can take. I think providing them with those opportunities are extremely important. Providing them with opportunities to take leadership roles within whatever clubs or organizations, similar to what you all are doing, and encouraging our youth to follow their dreams, right? When I get an email asking me to participate in an interview for uEmpower, absolutely. I'm definitely going to champion that and be a part of that process.
And we thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, what skills do you feel are necessary to build and work on to reach this position that you've achieved on?
I think that you have to be patient. You have to be open-minded. You have to be reflective, because there's so much to learn about yourself, about other people, regardless of the position that you are looking to attain. All jobs have you have to use interpersonal skills. You have to be able to communicate with people, and be able to see things from a different perspective, to really build those connections. And, to be a leader, you also have to be able to learn from others, right? To find out what the needs are, what the goals are that you're looking to achieve, so that, you're not just blindly leading towards a goal, but you have purpose for what you're doing. So, and definitely resilience, I think. You have to not easily be convinced that you can't do something, or have somebody tell you, well, that's too hard, and you have to be resilient and confident.
Absolutely. So, what advice do you have for young girls, like being in this leadership position, just like general advice and working in leadership?
I think you have to have a really good sense of who you are, right? You have to be very confident. I think especially for young women like you today, there are so many distractions. There are so many, just with social media, with just so many things that are going on in society. I think it's very easy to be dissuaded, right? You have your core values. You know how your family has raised you, the things that you truly hold dear to. You have to really stay centered in yourself, because there is going to be many obstacles in life, right? In leadership. I think there's different aspects of leadership. And as you grow and develop as a leader, you're going to encounter roadblocks, or you're going to encounter naysayers. And I think that you have to be really centered in what you believe and really stay focused, because it's very easy to lose that focus.
Right.
So who are some inspirational women that you look up to?
There are many, many women I look up to. I don't think anybody in particular comes to mind. I think there are leaders in so many different aspects of life. Like, we can look even within our own families. I would probably say that the woman that inspires me the most is my mother. I know growing up, I used to look at her and think, wow, she's just so strong. She's so centered. She believes in herself, and she's so confident. And she's been a leader in different ways in her own life. But I think as the leader of our family, she has been an absolute inspiration, reminding me to always believe in myself, that I can do anything. And it's very cliche when people say that you can really do anything, but you can, right? Somebody mentioned they want to go to NYU here. It's a reach, but someone's got to go to NYU. Why can't it be you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What you said before about, facing naysayers, facing challenges, what challenges have you faced or know for women working in leadership positions or the education industry, and what advice do you have for women currently facing those challenges?
Yeah, I think that you have to know your vision. And you, like, for example, I'll use my position as a principal of a school of almost 5,000, right? For every one of those students, there's a different story. There's a different home life. There's different experiences. There's different beliefs, political beliefs, religion. There's just so much. And I think that we have to remember that we have to have a wide lens, because you're serving so many people. And it's very hard to please everyone, right? Because everyone is so different, but that's what's so beautiful and unique about humanity. But I definitely think that I would say you have to know your purpose and your why. And my purpose and my why is always doing what is in the best interest of students. And there's many students here, so I have to really take into consideration what you all need. And so when you know your purpose, and I talk about that focus and that goal a lot, because when you know that, you're going to be able to put your head down on the pillow at night and sleep well, because you did the very best that you can do with what you know, what your knowledge is, and what your mission is, in a sense, right? Because I can sit here all day and second guess every decision I make, because I have to make a lot of decisions. But in myself, I know as a woman, as a leader, I am going to do what is in the very best interest of my students or my staff or my community. And sometimes that's not going to please everyone, but I know that I did my best.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So why do you think people should strive for a leadership position, staying dreaming?
I think that you have to have a dream in life. You have to have a reach, and you have to go for that. Because, I always say you have one life, you have one experience, and you got to put it all out there, right? And so why not put your best foot forward in everything that you do? I think there's just so much satisfaction to that in life. in general when I know it doesn't matter if it was when I was a teacher, a behavior specialist, an assistant principal, a principal. You know, you do the very best that you can. You stick to your word, you have your values, your core values, and I just believe in always reaching for the stars in life. That's why when people say things like, oh wow, I don't know if I can get into that school, or if I don't know if I can do this, well, someone has to. Someone's got to fill the spot. Why can't it be you? Why wouldn't it be you, right? If you do the things that need to be done and you do your very best, you can achieve anything.
That's a good mindset. You can accomplish a lot with that. And I think that also connects to open-mindedness and just like looking at all your options while also like understanding others and taking that into account.
Yeah.
So that connects.
So we wanted to ask you what programs, skill workshops, you know, just opportunities around, you know, that could empower girls to follow the path that they dream of.
I think it definitely depends on what it is that they're looking to explore, right? If you are looking to go into engineering or go into the medical field or go into the business field, if you look at, for example, you know, the school that you attend, right? You want to look at those organizations that can give you that lens of what that career might look like. And then, you know, there's like, for example, at Cypress Bay, right? We have all these different organizations that really kind of connect you and give you that real life experience. Like if you want to go in the medical field, you can join HOSA, right? You can take those classes. There's internships that are available. I think there's so much available to students across the board. I mean, I think it's just about making those connections, and you have people that are here to help you. I mean, you've got your, you know, your college advisors, you've got your assistant principals, you've got your counselors. You just cannot be shy to reach out and make those connections. Just like you guys emailing me and asking me to do the interview, you know, you made a connection, right? And so, you know, that's also very helpful in life because certain people can point you in the direction, can guide you. You know, I ended up in this role because somebody guided me. I really wasn't, I got into teaching and then I didn't really think I was going to be an assistant principal, but, you know, I was making connections and someone kind of opened that door for me to kind of look through and say, oh, well, maybe I kind of feel like I'm a leader. Maybe I can kind of walk through this door and lead in a school. You know, it was kind of by accident, but it ended up being an amazing opportunity. So definitely, you know, don't be shy about exploring, about asking questions, and believe that you can do it. You know, I think that's very important. I think nowadays young girls are bombarded with a lot of images, with a lot of, you know, ideas of what things really are like in the real world, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you might feel like you can't amount to that or you can't do this, but just know that with the work ethic, with the knowledge, the experience, whatever avenue it is that you want to take, you can do it. You know, you're really the only one that's going to stop yourself, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Going back to what you said about how students have so many opportunities, which Cypress offers a multitude of activities in so many different fields. So we were discussing, and we noticed that while there are so many activities, like for example computer science, girls not tend to be less inclined, but there's definitely like not a stigma. I'm not sure what the correct term is.
Yeah.
But like
They're hesitant.
Right.
Because it's so male dominated.
Right.
You don't see a guiding figure. So it's really
like in my computer science class, there's 3 girls out of like a class of 30. And so we were discussing that, and we were saying how there's so many opportunities. There just kind of has to be like that push to like go for it and don't hesitate.
And I think that you mentioned mentorship and like guidance. I think that's important because once you see someone who looks like you or is like you or has your same ambitions, you feel more inclined to jump and take the opportunity. So it's really important that we see, because like in HOSA, when they get these figures who are doctors already and they get them to speak to us, I feel more inclined to go to that medical position because I see, oh, there's already people like me in this position who can do that.
Right. It looks like it's possible, right?
Yeah.
Somebody took that path that looks like you, that and you know that that's possible. So that's very important what you just said too. I think that as educators, that's a huge point. We try, and I know our team really tries to diversify, right? Our teachers, and you know, having male teachers and female teachers, and just like you're saying, the computer science, you know, we have a great teacher who's teaching that, who's a female, and you know, putting people in positions where they can inspire students as well. That's very important, that we look at the unique student body that we have, and we try to replicate that as well in the teaching, the faculty that stands before them. That's very important, to be able to see yourself within others, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What advice do you have, just like general, for young girls in leadership, just
for anyone who
or anyone really?
My best advice is to not get so caught up in what you think other people want to see, or what you think people expect of you. It's very hard, because I know, for example, at a school like ours, very competitive academically, and I feel like sometimes, students are really pushing themselves, not necessarily because this is a content area that they love, but it's because they think it's what they should do, right? So I think it's really important, and that's why we really have been very strategic in trying to put some new things on the course cards that are really student interest, driven, so that you can really explore what it is that you love, what it is that you really want to do, and how would you know until you try something? Yeah. So I think my best advice is to be open-minded, like we talked about, and to be willing to explore. I wasn't supposed to be a teacher or in the education field, but I explored it, right? And I was like, wow, I really ended up loving this. So to not be afraid of taking risks and chances, and definitely listening to your inner voice, right? And hopefully it's one that you are building that confidence in, because you'll sometimes find people will often project, right? 'Cause maybe they don't feel like they can do it. So how are you going to do that? Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Yeah. How do you do that, right? Well, if I listened to everybody that questioned me, then I wouldn't be in the position that I am in, right? And then when you get there, you got to stay very grounded and very focused and very confident, because there's always something to dissuade you or distract you.
Absolutely. Relating to focus again.
Exactly. Laser focus.
Yes. Absolutely. Do you have any other things that you'd like to share with our uEmpower audience?
I think what you guys are doing is absolutely awesome, because everything that you've asked me and we've talked about is exactly what you're doing too. You are providing a platform for your audience to see other women in leadership, right? And young girls like yourselves. And so I would encourage you to continue this. I would love to see this, grow and become bigger, so that you can really inspire others to believe in themselves and follow their dreams. I love dreamers, because a lot of the people that you look at that have achieved, they had a dream, right? And I'll tell you guys one thing, I never imagined I could be the principal of Cypress Bay High School. I never did, but I started having a dream, right? I started thinking about it. I started imagining it. And sometimes you can dream, and you can make it come into a reality.
And you're doing an amazing job. Like we always talk about, we always hear like, oh my goodness, Fried, like, it's so amazing. And you're such an inspiration to all the girls, and I think everyone here on campus, just because like the confidence, the aura, and like you said, the sense, just like the sense of purpose is so inspirational to see, like, and to be like, I want to embody that, like, in myself.
Exactly. It's like, again, a mentor, and we see what we can be if we try.
That's wonderful, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us with our interview with Ms. Fried, the principal of Cypress Bay High School. We hope that you learned a lot. Please stay tuned for more interviews.